Alrighty then, well, I've just done major surgery on this door and got my window where it'll roll up and down again with a handle. I can actually put a handle on it. Here's a handle here. What I did was I replaced the window regulator in here, and this is a window regulator. Just came out of that door there. It's a manual window regulator. It's pretty simple. Just got this apparatus here that's where your crank goes, and spring on the back. It's got this small gear there in there that runs this large gear, and this part here, these are just the rollers, I guess you could call them. They don't really roll, but you can see this thing, for one thing, is rusty. This, I'll show you why in a minute, but the main reason I changed the whole regulator, if you look at this this thing, this shaft right here, see how boogered up it is? That's because when it started getting hard to roll up and down, somebody evidently snapped the plastic handle off. This is the plastic handle, and you know, I've said this countless times, I'm yet to understand it, but for reasons not understood, instead of just going and getting another handle and doing it that way, or possibly switching to a metal handle, that guy left just there. Those are the inside people. I'm going to tell you just in a second why I call them the inside people. But so anyway, what I was saying was, instead of doing that, they started using vice grips on the door handle, shaft, door, window crank. And one of the reasons is this door is missing its seals right here. It's supposed to have a seal here, and it's supposed to have a seal around it. I mean, this door has got seals for the door right here, but around there, but the window channel seals, they're totally gone. So it's letting water in, and it started rusting. Started rusting and getting hard to turn, and from lack of grease on it, I guess, back here at the back. This is where that shaft goes through, and that's supposed to not be where you can see a gap in it right there. Now it's all, like our peak says, it's all woggly. So you try to roll it up, and it would, you know, bind up and not want to work right. So see if we can get it to woggle a little bit here. I don't know if that looked right, does it? But yeah, it's got some play in it right there. Here, so that thing's junk. So I went to the junkyard, aptly named junkyard, and got that and put it in, and the window does roll up and down better now. I still have to help it at certain positions because with not having the seals in there, but it works much better. I greased it very, very well. Here he comes. That's Mr. Acceleration coming by here. That's my other person I have a name for. Let's check him out. He drives like that all the time. And I got a question for you guys. Maybe you can answer this. Maybe some of you do this. I stand out here working on this truck and whatever else I'm doing out here for hours at a time, and I hear people go by here all the time, and they have to, some of the people don't even slow down for that speed bump over there. They just go right on over it. You know, they have no concern for their vehicle. And the people that do slow down for it, at least half of them, slow down and they accelerate normally, and the other half, let's check it out. Well, he's turning up there, but the other half will go over that speed bump and slow down for it, and then you can tell they hit the gas about halfway down. You know, it can be a newer Honda or an Altima or something like that, you know, but you can kind of hear it. You know, you just tell from the way it kind of whoop and takes off and goes, you know, and they do that every time. He drove normally, but people do that, and it's 9 times out of 10 it's a 4-cylinder, and You know, what's the point? What is the point of buying a 4-cylinder vehicle, driving a 4-cylinder vehicle, if you're going to drive it like that? That's negating all the advantage of having a 4-cylinder. And, you know, you tell me, where's the fire at around here? You know, what's the big, why do people drive like that? You know, I'm not saying drive like a grandpa, but you don't have to cross something like that and then jam the gas down each and every time and take off again. That's stupid. It's just being hard on your car and stuff, you know. And the funny thing about that is when I was a kid, just learning to drive at about 15 or 16 years old, my dad used to complain because I used to do the same thing when I was a kid. And I've seen these people driving by here that do that, and they're not kids. They're adults, supposed to be adults. They look like they're adults. So, you know, I used to do that. I used to have this mindset that I had to, you know, anytime I slowed down, that I had to just jam the gas down and speed back up as quick as I could, you know. So, I don't know, when that guy drives that truck, he comes by there, he's one of those guys he's just in love with the sound of that truck, I guess, and he drives it the same way. I mean, that dude, I know telling how much he spends on gas, but hey, it's his money, so I don't care. But anyway, I was telling you about the inside people, that guy that left in the truck there. They live right down there in that house where that little minivan is. And I call them the inside people because they go to work and they come home, and I'm sure they're law-abiding, nice people, and I have no issue with them at all. But man, they're one of these people that, both of them, if you see them outside of their house, they're either going from the vehicle or to the vehicle. They don't get out. They don't sit out in front of their house. They don't never come out except to leave, ever. And I actually saw them out there today loading something in their little minivan there, and I thought, man, I said, don't get too much of this fresh air, the sunlight out here. It's bad for you. I guess I watch people too much, but so what? Ooh, yeah! Jungle music, boom, 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 yeah, spear, checkers, boom, yeah. So, what was I saying, guys, about this door? I got off my thought there. So I'm not going to really do you an in-depth video about repairing this door, but I'll just run through it real quick. A lot of you guys like these quick videos, quick how-tos. So, here it goes. First thing it is, I took the door panel off. Then you got screws around the bottom here. You got some around the bottom. You just pop it out, and then you got to pull it up. You got a screw behind that handle. That handle, if you have it in place, actually has to come off. It's got a little clip on the back of it. You got to carefully. Normally it's got a circlip in here that sticks down in there, and you got to take a little pick or something and pull it up and get that off. And once you got that free and you're looking at it like this, you're going to take your crank, you put it back on, you're going to roll the window all the way down to the bottom. Next thing you're going to do, you're going to take that vent window out. That vent window comes out. It's got a screw here, it's got a screw here, it's got a screw here. It's supposed to have a bolt in there, but this one was missing. It's got 2 bolts here, 1 or 2, but take them both out. They're all 7/16, so it look like that. Once you got that, it's usually got a seal up here or a little channel strip. You may have to work it around, but this top of this, you need to start pulling it down. And pull it down and work it out, and then finally it'll pop loose and you can pull the whole thing out. And it's got a little thing on the bottom of it, a little piece of metal that you have to kind of ease out of here, and you may have to spread the door apart a little bit to get it to slide out, so be careful with that. Once you get that vent window out, you I forgot what you do next. Oh well, too bad. No, I'm only kidding. Next thing you can do, you got a channel at the back here. You can see it in there vaguely. The only thing that holds that in, you got 2 bolts. You got a 7/16 here, you got a 7/16 up here. Take them out, that thing just basically falls out. Work it around, pull it out, put it somewhere else. Alright. Then the next thing you're going to do, you're going to start rolling the window up. And what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to take, these are the 4 regulator bolts right here. You can just take them out, put your crank back on, start rolling this thing up. And the trick to this is the window has to come up and it has to go outside the door, which means when you look at here, the window is going to be like that. It's going to be kind of coming up. And what you're doing is, if you don't take those bolts out, you can't roll it up far enough. And what will happen is, when you roll it all the way up, you'll see the bottom channel of the window right here with the rollers in it. So what you can do, this window is going to be woggling around because you got room here and here. So you're going to carefully, it's easier if you got a helper, but you just carefully finagle this thing around. You got a roller back here and you got a roller back here. You can slide it forward to get that roller detached, and then you got in that channel, this window, you'll see there's a little cutout in it. And then when you get this roller lined up with that cutout, you can kind of easily work it out and lift it out and put it in a safe location. Because you don't want to be prying on that window and trying to pull on it. You don't have to do that because you'll break the window. So, and then to get the regulator out, you simply just kind of push it back like this, push this thing through, and you got a roller in here, right here. That thing will need to come out, and then the whole regulator is just free in there, and you just have to kind of weasel it out of here. And you put the new one in or replace that one, same as that way. It's, once you've done a few of them, it's not hard. It's not that big a deal. But the thing about it is there's instructions on the internet of how to do this without taking the vent window out. Don't even bother, because this vent window comes out pretty easy, and it just gives you a whole lot more room. Just take the vent window out, take the glass out, and call it a day. It's a lot easier. So, okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and stick this thing back together. Looks like we may or may not get some more rain tonight, so I got another addition to my junk parts stack back here. So that's how you do it, guys. That's how you do a window regulator. That's how you complain about the traffic again. Thanks for watching. Tune in again next time. See ya.